Well, we carry on from last episode with Phoebe and Utica on their journey to be introduced to foster moms and to see how things are going with them. So it's a bit of a rush at the moment to try and get these little ones over to foster moms as quickly as possible. So we'll be following most of their journeys at the moment as they get introduced.
Here on the right you see the Sav troop. They're actually super curious already and waiting and super curious on what is crying in the crate. Waiting to see which babies are arriving. Utku and Phoebe of course really don't know yet what is happening. I will make sure that I do it a bit quickly because they're getting a bit screamy. I will open up the blanket, open up the crate, and we will just see what happens. As I told you, Phoebe...
I don't think they realize there's other monkeys around. They're just very upset that they inside a little enclosure at the moment. You can see how upset the other monkeys get because the little ones are making a noise or a shrieking sound. So they're just being very, very protective, the monkeys inside the enclosure.
Seems like she was peeing already.
So you can see little Phoebe is still very nervous about the whole situation and being very huggy. Utka seems to be a lot more outgoing. And of course he's running around and climbing and checking everything out and seeing what's happening around in his surroundings. So very nice positive signs from him. Take little Phoebe a little bit of a while to find out what's going on.
At least a few hours before she feels comfortable. Where he's pretty happy.
Utku, I think literally if you're gone, because he's a bit afraid of men somehow, but he will be up in the skies.
Superb. Let's hopefully we'll see that later.
So just as Hester, our volunteer, predicted, as soon as Aaron, who's a male, left the enclosure, little Utka was on top of the branches, climbing around and really exploring. So he has got a little bit of fear of males, and so that does hold him back. But of course, that's not something we need to worry about because hopefully he'll find a decent foster mom.
It's nice at Utku.
I'm not sure if little Utka is just showing off in front of the potential foster moms to show them that he's like the best choice. But he's a little bit nervous there, sitting on top of the little branch, just having a look at them. You can see the chewing and stuff that he's doing is just a little bit of nervous tension. But he's doing okay, and you can hear the others in the background making a little bit of a comforting sound.
This is Phoebe and Utku. At the Sav intro cage.
So at least Phoebe has come out to join little Utka and also starting to explore the cage because of course this is all important, just to make sure they know where everything is and all the ins and outs. And of course a little bit of a snack in between can only help you settle in a little bit. Important to know you're still going to get food on your new adventure. So they've got a nice little selection there from papaya, some nice little apple cubes. There's also some cucumber. So yeah, some nice little things just to give them a little bit of a start and something to do. And you can see they are enjoying it. Looks like there's a little bit of pear there as well. So a nice little afternoon snack while they slowly settle in. So of course once the little stomachs are full, it's time to go around and do a little bit of exploring and have a look and see how the cage all works and everything like this. So this is all a very, very important part in their orientation, just so that they know where to go, where to run to. We have mentioned this before, but you can see they are fairly relaxed, very inquisitive, just finding out where everything is and what little things they can play with. It does always help to have two of them together initially, but of course we're going to have to separate them when we do introduce the first foster mom, because otherwise it's at the moment these little ones seem to be clinging very much to each other, making the initial foster mom a little bit difficult to sort of pick them up and carry them around or get close to them. So we will be separating these two as it gets closer to the time. So this will basically be the first day in the intro cage, as these little ones get used to it, and then of course they'll be taken back for the evening, probably join the other little guys, and we'll have them back out here early in the morning, just so that they get more and more confident with the space and get used to the intro cage before the first foster moms are going to be introduced. But as you can see, they're both doing very, very well, climbing around. They don't really seem to have a problem. They're not scared at the moment, and building up the confidence that they're going to need as soon as a foster mom starts coming in.
Today we are letting staff monkeys in. You can let Nora in, so that they are going to meet foster mom. We've got Nora at the door, but Acorn is very interested as well. Acorn is not necessarily a female we want to let in, but Nora can give it a try. So now we're trying to get Nora in without letting Acorn in. And Phoebe is here. She's very screamy because it's raining and little baby monkeys don't like rain, just like humans don't like rain. I think you should be fine letting Utku in. So Utku is one of the babies from 2 years ago. Is it already 2 years? That's crazy. Yeah, it is already 2 years ago. Phoebe is back there in the corner at the feeding cage. This is Utku. You can let her out. They're getting all angry at me because they're thinking I'm doing something to Phoebe. That is?
That's Dora.
So this is Dora, also from 2 years ago.
So Dora arrived in 2020 with a broken arm as a little orphan. We're also not sure of her full story.
And there's Buttercup, just foraging at the moment.
course, there's a crying
Buttercup
baby.
was born in 2003, making
So we
her
hope that one of them
20-year-old, so
shows
she is a
some
granny.
interest later on.
She is one of the smallest adults we have, but you can see I don't think she's really interested in looking after any little ones. So the high-pitched sound Phoebe is making at the moment is what they do to try and attract the attention of their mom. Buttercup just saying, "Hey kid, I've had my time, not again." So as some of our avid viewers may recognize, this is the toughest little part for these little ones because there is still a little bit of attachment to their caregivers, and that's actually who the little one's actually calling to at the moment. Doesn't really understand these other monkeys coming in and just looking for somebody to give them a little bit of comfort. So it is a little bit of a tough time, but of course, as we know, to progress in life, we've all got to go through a little bit of something.
Trying to get Nora to come in. She doesn't necessarily like staying in, but she's now in.
So Nora, another mature female, born in 2017. We also don't really know much about her story, but she doesn't like staying in confined areas. So of course, being an older female, she'll know how to approach the little ones. And you can see it's not like a rush thing, it's very slowly, just trying to do a little touch here and there. She's not chasing her around too much, but is putting a little bit of a pressure on Phoebe. But as I said, gently trying to touch her. The smelling's important because they've got to basically try and find out, if it's from the troop or where it's from. So that's why you see they try and smell little baby first off, just to see if they recognize anything. So even though little Phoebe seems to be a little bit apprehensive, she's not really screaming like we have seen in some cases and climbing up the side of the enclosure. So there is a little bit of wanting possibly that you can see there, that she does want to get close to the mom, but she doesn't know how to let herself go completely. So it is like a kind of a little bit of a cat and mouse sort of game, because the mother doesn't want to be too overpowering. And of course, the little one does want the comfort, but isn't too sure of the mom. So these things take time. And of course, Nora's going to be the one, hopefully, to break Phoebe down a little bit, so that the foster moms can get a little bit closer to her. As we said, Nora doesn't like staying inside a cage too long, so she's insisting that she goes outside again and gets a bit of fresh air. Well, Buttercup's sitting around really not concerned at all, just taking and biding her time, probably saying to the little one, "Listen, I've experienced it all. I'm not really interested. Sorry, I'm not the right one for your mom. Hopefully somebody will come along soon and adopt you." This, of course, is also a good example of how, if the mother's not too pushy, that the little one seems to get a little bit more confident in them and sort of comes over and trusts them a little bit more, which you see Phoebe is doing to Buttercup. And as a granny, Buttercup's probably appreciating that. She doesn't want to be carrying this little baby around at that age, but she will be there to guide her and give her a little bit of confidence if she needs to be, but she's certainly not going to be the mother.
Nora back out enjoying the trees.
Well, this is Priya that's just come in now. She was born in 2008. Also arrived as an orphan, and of course her mother was shot in this case. So we're just going to see how things go for her. She's have actually got more potential of being a foster mom.
You got Priya in.
So as you can see, each integration is completely different. It's very hard to say how they're going to go. In this case, the mother seems to be a little bit more distant and not sort of running up and grabbing the little one. We don't know if it's something that they know or can feel and think that the orphan needs a little bit more chance and they mustn't be too pushy, otherwise they could ruin everything.
It's literally, as I say.
So it's day 2 for Phoebe. Last night she did not stay out in the intro cage. It was very cold and she hadn't quite bonded with the foster mum yet, so we decided just to take her in and make sure she was nice and warm for the night and then just start again this morning. So Utku's just been removed again. They've been in just normal baby care this morning just to ensure they've had something to drink, had some food and got nice and warmed up. So we've got some monkeys just turning up, so Phoebe already quite nervous. It's going to be another screamy day, but hopefully we can get her to stay out tonight and then that makes a big difference.
Well, Acorn's made an appearance. She was born in 2006. Also arrived as an orphan.
Acorn.
She had been hand-reared. So she is fairly humanized. And she also used to be the former alpha female. So she's got a lot of experience. She'd make a really good foster mom. She's a little bit of a chubby female. So a lot of room for little one to hang on to and just feel loved. So should be a very, very good mom, and let's hope things go well with Acorn and see how Acorn does in trying to convince this little one to come over to her. So of course we can see Acorn using the same tactic as usual, just giving the little one time to get used to her. Pretending she's not really interested, but I think Acorn also feels that this little one has sort of had enough time to be broken in with the other females and getting used to everybody, and being an alpha or ex-alpha female, she's not going to waste her time. There she's just come over to little Phoebe, and there she's got her. So I think Phoebe's got a little mom for the meantime, got her under on her stomach and holding on, and come over to the others and say, yeah, I think I might be looking after this little one. So there we go. It looks like little Phoebe has accepted the situation. They seem to have calmed down a little bit. She's not trying to struggle to get away or anything. So I think she's happy with her newfound mom and the comfort she's getting. Even the mom here, you can see, has let little Phoebe go. Still keeping an eye on her. She's probably not going to let her go fast. You can see she's always keeping an eye up there and watching what's going on. So very, very good sign. Very good type of mother. And I think these two are going to be very, very happy together. Look, I mean, they're basically getting near the end of the day, and both of them snuggled up there in the corner. That's where they normally go to sleep. So I think Phoebe's going to stay out tonight with her foster mom, which is going to be a fantastic thing.
second full day of integration with Phoebe and Acorn. As you can see, they're very well bonded. Acorn is a first-time mum. She's a great mum in the sense that she holds them and never lets them go. But we have a problem. She never lets them go. So she's having trouble letting Phoebe off her. Letting go, as they say. Which is only a problem that Phoebe wants to drink her milk and Acorn isn't currently letting her. So hopefully with time, and she realises Phoebe's not going anywhere, she will let her go and Phoebe can drink a bit. We are managing to get her enough milk, which is good. It's taking a lot of distractions and a lot of grapes, but we are getting there. It's lovely to see Phoebe back with her mum. If you remember, she was quite distressed when we picked her up, and quite distressed thereafter, but now she's doing great. Very happy to have another squishy tummy to cuddle into. 6:10, day 2 of Phoebe's integration with Acorn. Everybody's getting a little bit tired, so they're just sat on the ground. Hopefully they'll start to move up to the perch soon, and everybody can go to bed. As you can see, Acorn has got plenty of tummy to hang on to, which is nice, so Phoebe is kept warm quite a lot of the time. Acorn also doesn't let her go, so she is 100% warm whether she likes it or not. She is a good mummy so far. Hopefully we'll get to add Utku in a few days' time. We will see.
So Phoebe trying to break away a little bit and get some alone time, but you can see how attached already Acorn is. She doesn't want to let the little one go. Very concerned about her and just following her everywhere. Acorn visiting the rest of the troop members and just showing off her new little charge. They seem to like doing this, and this is one way of them introducing them to the other monkeys. You can see little Phoebe just having a look out there every now and again and seeing who's everybody. They probably can't wait to groom her, so hopefully when we get to the point in the next week or two of the introduction of this lot going out, it's going to be quite nice just to see how this lot accept her. You can see they're all concerned, the face pulling at the cameraman on the side there, telling us to behave ourselves and watch out. So it seems like the troop's going to be very protective of her.
Victoria going into Disneyland. She's come to collect Utku. His time has come. It's time to meet Acorn. Just gotta find him. I think Gail's holding him. Baby intern Gael has a nice bond with Utku, but now is the time to let him go. He's got to go meet his mummy. But he kind of has to go. How's it been in here this morning, Stefani? Good? Nice. Everybody behaving? Shayna, Pepe?
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit with them in the back in a minute.
Nice. There's Utku. About to go into his crate. He's gonna have a crate time. Pun. So Phoebe's been with Acorn just shy of a week now. And it's time we add Utku. Utku is well over 6 weeks old and definitely ready to do it. He's a master of the feeding cage, takes himself in, all of those things. He's very sociable. We just needed Phoebe to go first because she was a bit clingy. So now it's Utku's time. He is actually a bit big for Disneyland. He is biting everyone, which is not fun for anyone. So it's time he goes and gets a mum. So what Victoria's going to do, she's going to take Utku into the airlock. She will take him out. And Acorn, hopefully when she moves away, should move away, Victoria will take the chance to throw him in. Utku has missed Phoebe in the evenings. He's been a little bit upset, so it's kind of nice for him to re-see her.
So we're just giving little Utka a bit of time to settle down, to see his friend Phoebe in the other side with the foster mom. It just makes the transition a little bit easier, even though Utka is a little bit scared at the moment, but he sees his friend on the other side, and everything looks well. There's no screaming or fighting, and it just makes the transition period a lot easier, because basically what we got to do is take him and put him through the open door, and sometimes this does end up in a little bit of a screaming fit on the other side, which isn't really very pleasant, but it's really the only way of doing it, and let's see how this goes.
Oh. And Utku is in. So Utku does know the intro cage. They've spent a good number of weeks in here, so this isn't an unfamiliar environment, it's just an unfamiliar mum. Acorn is already on the way over to see who the little one is. Oh, she's gone up to the perch.
So you can see he's still not certain about what's going on. He sees Phoebe around, so he knows he's not in any danger or anything, but this big strange monkey, he's not too sure what's going on. And must be kind of weird, you're sitting here and having a look at your buddy hanging on to this massive big monkey, because Acorn's not the smallest monkey in town. So yeah, it might be a little bit bewildering, but at least he's not showing too much fear or anything, so that's so far so good.
Utku just making his way over to Acorn and Phoebe. Utku screams a little bit there. It's the first time he's been that close to an adult female or an adult monkey that wasn't his mum in a while. He does like his human carers a lot, so this is a big change, but they do often settle in well eventually. The first day can be a little bit tough, but you'll be surprised to see how quickly they change and they start to accept the mum. Utku has become quite people orientated since being in Disneyland, just generally, so Victoria and I are sat here watching next to the feeding cage, and he's predictably spending more time sat with us than anything else, but that is to be expected to some degree. He should start to move off when he starts to feel more comfortable, He has screamed a few times when some of Sav's troop have come to say hello. But that is also to be expected. As we said earlier, he does know the feeding cage, the intro cage. He spent a number of weeks here before this moment, so it's not new to him, it's just new with a big monkey in it. But Phoebe is here, so once he realises that, he should be much happier. Utku and Acorn just had their first contact. Wasn't planned. Acorn just moved past Utku on a branch with Phoebe on her tum-tum. She brushed against Utku and he screamed.
Acorn is on the floor with Phoebe, trying to eat some food, and
Looks like Phoebe wants to come over and see Utica, but of course Acorn's like a very, very protective mother, and as you can see, she won't let little Phoebe go anywhere. Phoebe tries to make another attempt to try and climb up and go and meet Utica, but of course Acorn's preventing this whole scenario. So this is also something why we've got to be very careful. Sometimes the female, she's very, very protective and won't let the little one climb off her and actually go into the feeding cage, which Becky was mentioning earlier. So we just got to make sure at some stage that Acorn is comfortable enough to let little Phoebe wander off a little bit more on her own. But it might take a little bit of time. It's also helping little Utica get used to the situation. You can see he also wants to get close to his friend. There we go, and yeah, let's see how it goes from here. So there's the first like initial contact from him towards Acorn. You can see there it's already getting a little bit better. He's starting to follow. He sees there's nothing to worry about. So so far so good. Well, it's just nice to see all of them sharing some of these special pellets. This is a special pellet that we've got up that's made from various wild grasses and things like that, normally used to feed wild animals, like certain bug species, but it's got a lot of nutrition in that's good for the monkeys as well. So we do use that now and again when a variety of food sources is not available, and it just adds to supplement a few of the vitamins and essential amino acids that they need.
You enjoying your pellets, guys?
And of course they seem to really enjoy it.
This is Acorn, a larger than life mama, Phoebe in the back, and then Utku, who has just dropped in from the heavens. These two orphans have settled in super well to this cage.
Of course, the natural forage is just as important, and it's nice to see Utica going chewing on some of the grasses. The grass has got like a nice thick end. You can see at the end there. We can also chew it and get some sweet juice out of it. It is quite nice, and the monkeys really love this part of the grass. So they look forward to getting some, and it's nice to see them at such a young age, basically enjoying it and sharing it with each other. And it's a very important part of their diet.
Acorn.
So if you look very carefully at some of these grasses, you'll see there's like a, I don't know, almost like a furry part to it, or a very fine part that's got a lot of seeds on. Now these seeds form a kind of a protein for the monkeys out in the wild. So even though sometimes we see there's not a lot of food around, they can survive on a lot of the grass species that are out there, deriving moisture from the thicker stem systems, and then proteins from the little seeds. And they also form a very vital role in dispersing these seeds, of course, because as they eat them and they defecate in different areas, they're going to slowly spread these seeds around. And of course the feces is going to help the germination and things like that. So this is how they regenerate areas with natural growth.
Utku and Phoebe playing, and Acorn is grooming a buttercup.
To be honest, I don't know, Buttercup's been around all the time, just being very, very quiet in one of the corners while everything else has been going on, and just saying, I'm not part of this at all. I just don't want to be a mom this year.
Don't look at Tara. Don't look at Tara. These are perfectly normal and amazing, but it's such a baby.
Well, this is also great to see. It looks like Phoebe's actually managed to get away from Acorn and got into the feeding cage, and he's drinking and basically enjoying milk from both the little milk bottles. Utka's still sitting outside there. He hasn't decided to go in yet, but this is a great thing. So at least we know that Phoebe's able to get off Acorn, go into the feeding cage and get milk, because that's essential later on. Once she's out in the big main enclosure, if she can't do that, it's going to cause real problems. So this is fantastic to see. Well, the day is finally coming to an end. These two seem to have been settled down quite nicely. Acorn is giving Phoebe a little bit of room to spend with Utica, which is also great. So far things are going well. The integration is still going to involve one or two other monkeys coming in, just to see if Utica can now get a foster mom. And once that's kind of settled, or they all get on well together, we can open the doors and start letting these guys out. So we'll just be having a look at one or two of the other monkeys getting integrated, and then probably seeing this lot getting out and joining the rest of the troop and getting their freedom back. So thank you everybody out there for watching. I hope you enjoyed the integration. It is quite an integral part of everything that goes on. Very time consuming. Of course, you're only seeing a very short clip of it, but it is very intensive and a very, very special moment in these monkeys' lives. So I'm glad you enjoyed it with us. Thank you everybody for watching, sharing, and keeping our memberships going on. We really appreciate it. And of course, we're going to see you in the next episode.